Okay, here we are. I'm Jay Owens, City Engineer. This is our April 2019 bridge update here with Mark Anderson, MnDOT Project Manager for the bridge project. We've got a little bit to talk about from the last meeting. Some things changed. We were trying to get all the tub girders set, but high water kind of pushed us out of the river here for a little bit. Maybe you want to expand on that and kind of what are the plans moving forward for getting that span put in place over the river?
Sure. So they were able to get the span 3 set, so from Pier 2 to Pier 3, the tub girders
on the Wisconsin side.
Right.
Yep.
But they were not able to get the main span over the river set. So the plan is, I guess we're going to wait until the river gets down low enough so they can actually get back out there. I think they said today they need the river to drop to a stage of about 11 feet and continuing to drop before they feel comfortable going back out in the river. So
okay, so that could be a little. I mean, we're looking at a crest here. In the coming days, but it's going to take some time for the river to actually drop for them to be able to get on their causeway to move their equipment and materials in, correct?
Right. Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to have to dry out a little bit so it's stable enough for them to get out there with the heavy loads too.
Okay, sure.
So it might be a while. It's about a 5-foot drop or so from the crest?
From the crest here, we're looking at around that 16, so we got about 5 foot lower before we can actually get back to the tub girders. And I know we talked about it last time. None of the decking on any of the tub girders can really be done until the entire span is complete, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So they need all the deflections in the camber and that of the girders to be where it will be at the time. So they have to wait so they can do the stool shots so they can estimate where the deck formwork will need to be. Okay.
And I know there was a push to have it all completed that just ran out of days with the water coming up there, and we had the same thing with our Levy Park project where we got some sheeting in but had to get things kind of stabilized and get equipment moved out of there before it came over the levee walls. So our project down there was affected just like the bridge project with the high water. Have you, Mark, as MnDOT or have the contractors kind of been working with the shippers that are on the river as far as trying to get that last span done and still allow barge traffic and things of that nature?
Yeah, the contractor has been working with the river industry to get, I think, some navigation shutdowns, basically some windows for the contractor to be able to work and get those last 3 spans or last 3 lines set over the river.
Over the river, okay, good. And doesn't mean that no work has been happening now. We've got nice weather. In fact, it's a gorgeous day today here on April 2nd. In fact, we have no one in the audience today, so we'll have very few questions. But the work has been going on. Retaining walls being poured, footings being poured for those retaining walls.
Yep, they've been excavating some of the footings for the retaining wall along the slip ramp at what is that, Third and
Potter, right in that area. Yep.
Right, and they are working on one of the retaining wall panels that comes off. It's basically between the 34 and the 35 bridge, so between the 61 bridge and the bridge into the Red Wing parking lot there.
Okay, the slip ramp bridge and then the 61 bridge. So they've got work going on there. So some work on the Minnesota side again, really.
Right, and they're also working on the back wall of the south abutment for the main or the river bridge. So
okay.
Well, it's a few minor items working on it, and they're going to start also doing, or they have started doing the formwork for the concrete deck on the bridge over Highway 61. So
okay,
they're starting to work on that, and that's what the lane closures.
That's what we have lane closures. I think set up today, correct?
They actually were set up yesterday.
Set up yesterday. Okay.
Yep. So it should be the right lane today or yesterday and today, and I believe the middle 2 lanes Wednesday and Friday. I don't believe Zenith is working on Thursday. They have their employee meeting.
Okay. So kind of through this first part of April here, you're going to notice lane closures on 61, kind of going, if you're heading toward trying to get to the Button Hook or heading south to Lake City or coming up from Lake City, 1 lane in each direction.
Currently, I believe it's just the southbound right lane is closed.
Just the southbound for now.
But then they'll close the inside 2 lanes for tomorrow through Friday, and then on Monday they will close, or Monday and Tuesday they'll close the northbound right lane.
Okay.
So, but once they're done with the decking, they intend to close both right lanes for the summer.
For the summer,
Yep.
for their work, okay. But not, didn't hear anything about detours or anything like that? Keeping at least a lane open in each direction?
Right. Yep.
Okay,
It's just so they can work above the lane and not have to worry about if someone falls or not hanging there in traffic or they drop materials on someone's
Okay.
car.
okay. And how about the deck, speaking of deck pouring, that's the Minnesota side. I know they're doing some work on the Wisconsin side on the concrete beams, kind of across, across the wetland area and over there. Is that work going on as well?
I don't believe they're working on that right now. I think they're working on just the two bridges in
Okay.
Minnesota here to get those. They want to get those poured as soon as they can.
Okay, good. Anything new over at the box culvert? They had to remove some sheeting. We had some traffic delays for that.
Yep,
some
they raised that
closures
sheeting so they can get the fish passage through the box culvert there.
during the spawning season for the
Right.
fish.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of coordination, keeping everything going, working with the DNR on that as well. So, and then big thing I know I've had questions on is getting into road building. So I know that we're getting there, but it's still, we've got some road restrictions and some frost to come out, and then we will be hopefully soon here looking at 3rd Street and Potter Street intersection and actually putting curb and gutter and sidewalk and bituminous down.
Yep, I believe as soon as they get the frost out of the ground that they will be out there
Okay.
working on 3rd Street.
And we do have some punch list cleanup items to do with our utilities as far as the water main and the sanitary sewer, but then followed up right away with getting road built, so.
Right.
Okay, that's a good update. You got some pictures maybe we
Yep,
can move
I
into?
do have some
We can take a look
pictures.
at that, and I'll think of some questions probably while you're firing those up.
So what I've got is some pictures of the span 3 girders as they're being set.
The tub girders.
The tub girders, right. So this is over from in Wisconsin. So there's one of the lines as they're lifting it. Another picture of the tub girder as they're lifting one section and going to bring another section in to bolt them together. There you can see that it is together. It is sitting on both piers, and right in the middle there they are working on doing the bolting.
So this was the, of course, during the push that 24-hour shifts and 7 days a week trying to get this whole thing in before the high water. Didn't quite make it, but made good progress. Yeah.
Another picture just of setting the girders. So, and then some of the work that's going on now, as I mentioned, they've dug the footing for one of the retaining walls for the slip ramp.
So we're probably right near Red Wing Shoe, Plant 1 right here.
Yep.
Yep.
And there's a retaining wall panel that will be poured, I believe, today. Probably it was poured at 10 o'clock or started pouring at 10.
Okay.
So that's off the, just next to the abutment for the bridge over Highway 61. There's the rebar, and as the contractor starting to set the formwork for the back wall of the south abutment at the river bridge. And after that, it's just pictures of water, lots of water.
Yeah.
So there's looking out from underneath by the abutments on the Minnesota side. Another picture just looking at how high the water is over there. You can see all the trees are basically submerged.
Through the campground there.
Right. This is from, I was standing on the surcharge over for the button, or for the jug handles of 825 there. You can see how the water is up. This is Pier 6, so it's almost up to the north abutment. Just kind of a wider angle, same thing.
So you're kind of looking right down the causeway that is flooded, and that road not being there means they can't move tub girders in to finish that span off.
Right.
Yeah.
There's looking up 825th as it comes into the project, so
825th, that runs past the Harbor Bar right there. We're kind of looking up toward that direction.
yep. Kind of the same area, just there's a technique shaft. There's not much, or one of the practice shafts.
Yep.
Not really seeing much there, a lot of water. And that's the end of it.
Okay, let's talk schedule a little bit then, Mark. We talked about the work going on the Minnesota side and then the tub girders that won't start really until we're down around that elevation or river stage 11. But as of everything that we've seen from the contractor, things are still on schedule. Is that correct for a fall opening of the new bridge?
I believe so. They haven't indicated otherwise. I do have some concerns with the surcharge over in Wisconsin. The last time we had seen some information was that it was about halfway through the expected settlement, and the geotechnical experts that I've spoken to said that the high water may slow that settlement period down, or slow the amount of settlement down. So we're not really sure where that's going to be.
Okay. So that's something to be monitored and see how that settlement picks up after the high water is receded. We're hoping that we get the settlement we need before building a road on that surcharge, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, well, that's interesting. I didn't realize that high water affects that, but it kind of makes sense. It's not able to push the water out.
Right, there's so much buoyancy.
There's buoyancy holding that back up. So, okay. Anything else that you see moving into? It's just really kind of work on Minnesota side, retaining walls and roadway and utilities.
Yep.
And then
as the water recedes, get back on the tub girders and get that concrete deck done for the river bridge.
All right. Well, thanks for the update, Mark. And there's no one in the audience here to ask any other questions, so we'll see you again in May.
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you.